Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to warm the engines up. Tonight on the Josh Nolan and Oliver S. Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on YouTube, we have with us racing superstar, racing sensation, Luke Nueman. Welcome to the show, Luke.
Thank you.
So, Luke, how did you end up in a race car?
Well, my grandma Darlene and my papa um, pitched the idea of quarter midgets, and um, so they bought me my first car, and before you know it, I was in racing.
Okay. When you got into your race car for the first time, did you have some like nervous butterflies going on, or were you just like, I'm where I need to be, or
I would say my first race is probably one of the most scared thing I've ever done.
okay. So, Luke, with your racing career, have you set some goals? Have you set goals real high for yourself?
Uh, very. I
Okay, go ahead.
I so when I started out, I the first goal I set was I wanted to go to NASCAR. That was my number one goal, and I'm still hoping to get there.
Okay. So, what is it? I seen that you raced the Shore Shootout for the first time this year. What was that like to race in the Shore Shootout?
Um, it was nerve wracking, um, and I had I had a barrier, like a huggy pole. So they ended up having turtles, and I didn't know that you could jump over the turtles. So that was different, and then the length of the track was all different, and it wasn't just hard for me, it was hard for my dad to figure it all out too.
Okay, okay. So, Luke, um, what have you learned from racing with THQMA?
um well, I've learned to keep a positive attitude, and I have learned, since I got more cars, I've learned that maybe my first car wasn't good, I didn't race good in it, but I just need to forget that and I need to move on to the next one.
Okay. So, what does the big picture look like for you in your racing career going into the future?
Um, so I want to finish out my quarter midget career. I want to be able to retire, and then I want to be able to go to 310s, and eventually from 310s, 305s, move up to 410s, and then eventually get to NASCAR.
Okay. So, talking about 305s, Luke, we race 305s out here where I'm at. So, I'd love to see you out here in a 305 at Jackson Motorplex at least. Come out there and give that track a shot. It's a 410s half mile dirt track. So, yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, go ahead.
I have a racing simulator, and I play um I drive 305s and on it, and 410s, and they're definitely, I would say, in real life they are probably a lot more fun than quarter midgets.
Oh, yeah. So, what goals have you set for yourself, Luke, with your racing career?
Um, well, originally I set that I wanted a track record, and I successfully got that. Um, I set a goal to get a championship in points, and I haven't got that yet.
Okay. So, okay, Luke, how did you end up getting the track record award?
Um, so my car was just set up perfect that day, thanks to my dad. and the track was just amazing. Everybody was beating the track records, and so a kid went out there and originally beat it. Another kid went out there and beat that kid's record, and then another kid went out there and beat that record, and then I went out there and beat it. So like four of us beat the record.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely very crazy. So, okay, how did you end up with third in senior animal points and fourth in senior Honda points this year?
Um so I was I raced animal, and I would say the first part of animal, the first part of the year of animal, I was still trying to figure it out. I was still running, trying to figure out the pattern because it was a little different. And so we got the car set up right, and I started learning it more and more. And we got third in that one, but I got sick and I missed two of the races. So I could have maybe gotten second, even first. But and then I would say senior Honda, I I ran senior Honda. I would say I was pretty good for that class, but I couldn't keep up with them. I wasn't top of the class like all of the other ones were.
Okay. Also, Luke, I seen on your Facebook pages that you've got some new things that you're working on for 2024. What is your new things you're working on for 2024?
So we decided to step it up a notch, and so thanks to Jack Parsley and Angel Parsley, um, they have gave us a couple cars. So we have a world car, which it's second fast at the track. Um, we have a mod car, which is the fastest class at the track. And at the last part of the year, we started running it, and hopefully, we're going to. I think we're going to keep up with them, but it's we practiced a little bit, and I've just learned a little bit from it, and hopefully the start of the year I learn a lot and I can do good in points in them.
So, okay, you talked about your grandma and your grandpa helping you get into quarter midgets. Who else helped you get into a quarter midget?
I would say my dad. He he helped me get motivated to want to race. I would say my pappy. He painted the car. He threw a lot of money in. Um, I would say my family. They've helped me a lot, and Jack and Angel Parsley.
Okay. So, I also seen that you got to meet Kyle Larson this year. What was that like to sit down to have a conversation with Kyle Larson?
Um, so Kyle Larson, he's been one of my idols. I've loved him because he's like the goat of racing, and for me to meet him, it was amazing because I got to talk to him, and not only that, but one of my best friends I went with, and we both got to meet him and other drivers, and I actually have a banner that's signed by him.
Very cool. So, Luke, okay, now we're also going to be talking about some other things that are happening next year. Who are your new teammates going into next year?
Um, my sisters, they're starting out in the rookie program next year, and
Okay,
I have my cousin Hunter. He started out with me too, and I
okay.
have Jack and Angel Parsley, they're my teammates because we race for them.
Okay. So Luke, okay, it's pretty awesome to sit down and talk to you and get to know you a little bit better. So Luke, okay, for the kids that are just coming into racing, trying to figure out where they want to go with it, what kind of goals would you set for them if you were to help them with their racing careers?
Um, I would say to keep a clean mind, and when you're starting out in racing, the most important thing is to have fun because I honestly didn't really like the start of racing because the cars were slow, the competition could have been easier, and I just, as I went along and growing in racing, I just started to like it better and better, and just learning new things helped me out. And I would say just to always have a good attitude and just, if you go big, remember where you started from.
Huh. Okay, Luke, I'm back. Okay, what happened there?
I have no clue. It just glitched out.
Okay, so Luke, um, okay, so we were talking about what goals you would set for the kids coming into the racing world. You said have fun, and what's some of the other ones?
Just to keep a clean mind and remember where you came from.
Okay, so Luke, thank you for talking about that with us. So I'm going to kind of turn the mic over to you. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask me some questions if you'd like.
So I have a couple questions. So
Okay.
first, I'm gonna start out with um, what got you into racing?
What got me into the racing world? Well, I have been a racing fan since I've been 6 years old. I'm going on 43, going to be 44. So I've been a racing fan for 30 some years. Just the sheer love of the sport, what's got me into it. How the racing show came about, Luke, is really kind of crazy. Like I said, been a racing fan for 30 years. The guy that created this had been friends with him for a few years, and he just kind of very successful businessman. Long story short, he owns a business where they car wash businesses, but he also is a race car driver along with his son. And just one day, he just shot me a message and says, "Call me." So I call him up. His name was Clay Evans, and we sat and talked. And he says, Josh, I'm very successful. I said, well, yeah, Clay, I know that. And he says, crazy enough, he says, I have this crazy idea. I don't know how you kind of feel about it. Well, I said, just tell me what it is. So he says, well, I noticed you got a lot of race car drivers on your Facebook page. Do something with it. He says, see if you can gain some success off of it. I said, well, what are you talking about? He says, just post your own racing show. So I've never been on a camera a day in my life. This could be interesting. So we started out with the idea off of Facebook Live, Luke, in 2018 with a small 38 member audience. 2 years later, when we left to go to YouTube, Luke, we had over 2,000 some people know who we were through USA and Canada, which was pretty insane. And now that we're over on YouTube, Luke, we have 12,000 views.
Um, Also, what was the toughest time you've had racing?
I have actually never been a race car driver. Like I said, I've been a racing fan. The toughest part about racing for me is I did work on a racing team for a few years, and you could have good nights, you could have bad nights, and the nights that were bad, you just had to remember that everybody's out there to have fun. Something may happen with the car, but you just got to learn that um, that you can turn things around the next week and hopefully have a better week. Um, we one of the teams I worked for, we were running on a shoestring budget, and it was just we would go out there and we would have a good car, but we just couldn't adapt to the track like a lot of people could. And we Nestle, our main driver, we had won one race, which was pretty cool. I give him that. Our main driver had to be in a wedding, so we had a substitute driver, and he was a stock car driver, and he's like, "Hey, can I hop in your car for the night?" Sure, not a problem. Your guys' car. So he ended up showing late because something happened mechanically with his tow vehicle. He was hauling a stock car to the track at the same time. So he showed up late, hopped in the car for heat races, did okay. We started mid pack for the feature. Well, all at once, there was an accident on the track for the feature, and they had an open red flag, which means you can go talk to your driver, say, hey, what kind of adjustments do we need to make to the car? Small adjustments. So we went on the track, and he says, just make a couple minor adjustments to the car, nothing too elaborate. And our crew guys made a couple minor adjustments, and we ended up finishing second the feature. But the crazy thing is Luke, the guy that won the feature, he was supposed to go through tech and make sure all of his car and everything had met all expectations, and followed the rules. Well, he thought, well, heck, I won the race. I don't need to do that. Well, lo and behold, they found this out, and they said, no dice. You didn't go through tech. You lose the victory. You lose the check. It all goes to the second place driver, which was us, which was pretty crazy night, all in all. Yeah.
Um, Also, do you have any race car advice for me as I grow as a race car driver?
I'm going to tell you, Luke, just have patience, go out there with a clear mind, and also, be okay. Don't try, how can I put it this way? Don't try and be like some of the outlaw drivers that say, oh, I'm better than everybody else. I don't need to talk to the fans and stuff like that. Be the down to earth guy that, hey, when fans come up and talk to you and say, hey, how's your night going? That type of thing there. Hey, I'm a friend of yours. Say, hey, that's cool. No problem. I'll sign autographs for you. It's not a big deal. Because I have met a few drivers in my time, Luke, that you go up and meet them. Okay, they do fine when they're doing an interview on the track, but the minute they get away from that microphone and fans go to meet them, they don't want nothing to do with the fans. And it's just like, that's not the way you want to do things.
It doesn't give you a good reputation.
No, it does not. It does not. It does not. I've had a few occurrences, and I was just like, there's two drivers that I particularly stay away from because of the interaction I got off of them. And it's just like, yes. But yeah, both names are pretty well known out of the sprint car world, but yeah, I'm not going to mention names, but yeah, yeah, yes. But I'll tell you what, Luke, you said Kyle Larson was somebody you looked up to. There's a couple guys that I looked up to growing up. One of them, he was a really awesome sprint car driver. You ever get a chance to meet him at a track, and if he's there, go up and strike up a conversation with him. Very awesome Hall of Fame driver, Luke. You want to go up and talk to Doug Wolfgang. Doug, back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, he could do things with a sprint car that were just left people in awe. He's won 5 Knoxville National Championships, and I'll tell you what, it's pretty awesome to have that on your record. Yeah. And he's a very short guy, nevertheless. He's probably about 5 foot tall. That's as tall as he is. Yeah. So, do you have any other questions for me, Luke?
No.
Okay. Well, Luke, thank you for being on our show tonight, talking to us about your racing career, getting to know you a little bit better. When you get ready to kick off your season next year, I would love to have you back on here again to kind of give us an update, what you're looking forward to for the season. If you got some new paint schemes you're going to throw on your car, definitely we can talk about that. Um, so, Luke, do you have a racing page that the racing fans can follow you on?
Yes. It's on Facebook. It's Luke Nueman Motorsports.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, go hit up Luke Nolan Motorsports for all the racing updates off of Luke's racing team. Last question for you there, Luke. Are you pursuing more sponsorship for your racing team?
Yes.
So if there's anybody going to be out here watching this racing show, hit up Luke Nueman and his family because Luke would appreciate the sponsorship on his race car as he gets further into his racing career. So, Luke, thank you very much for being on the show with us tonight, talking to us. I will let you step out. I'll call you in a few minutes to thank you in person. I'm kind of going to give a little racing news update, but definitely going to call you in a few minutes to thank you in person, okay?
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. I'll have you exit out, Luke.
Uh,
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Luke Nueman. He races for the TQMA Quarter Midget Association. He raced at the Shore Shootout for the first time this year. He's got some big dreams. Definitely one you're definitely going to want to follow. I totally love that interview with him asking me if I had some advice for him. That was pretty awesome. Also, ladies and gentlemen, uh, definitely racing news wise, a lot of racing news things are starting to shake up again. The Tulsa Shootout is this week, and they've got over 1,000 entries for the Tulsa Shootout this week in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Some drivers that are competing in that are Colby and Justice Sokol, Zach Weigel. You've got Bradley Cox. You've got Braden Pfeiffer. Um, Definitely, you've got Cannon Bam Bam Posey down there. That's just to name a few. You've also got uh, Chase Shot down there, and you've also got uh, uh, Mason Beinauer down there also. And there's a bunch of other drivers down there also. But ladies and gentlemen, go check that out, and definitely go follow that on Flow Racing. Also, Gavin Bochel's down there also, ladies and gentlemen. But definitely, like I said, go follow that. Go pick up that racing up there on Flow Racing. Watch that racing as it goes on, starting today and going through Sunday. Also, in a couple weeks, the Chili Bowl will be happening, so definitely go check that out. Chase Randall is racing over in Australia. Good luck to Chase in the racing the Australia Series this winter. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Tanner Thorson has announced that he's going to be racing the High Limit Racing Series this coming year. A lot of things are happening in the drag racing series stuff. Some shakeups going there. Definitely, Jaggy Coughlin's going to be racing pro stock again. This is going to come back to pro stock racing this year. But definitely, like I said, yeah, some definite new shakeups there. And Tony Stewart's going to be running a Top Fuel dragster this coming year. So that's all new stuff there. NASCAR will be underway here in a few weeks. So we'll see what happens at the Busch Clash and then also the Daytona 500 as that kicks off underway. IndyCar season will be underway also here in the next few months, and then drag racing comes in between there also. So definitely check all that out. Also, the sprint cars and late models and stuff will be going to Florida here in the next few weeks to compete down there for their winter series. IMCA stuff is kicking off for the winter. A lot of stuff is getting ready to get underway, so definitely check all that out. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you guys, I would like to thank our sponsors, Dirt Track Race Cars and Company, dirttrackracecars.com. Go hit them up for all your racing diecast needs. They have some pretty awesome looking racing diecast out there. They have 1/64 scale cars out there. They have the number 29 Weikert Livestock car, the 8D car, and the Orange 8 car that Doug Wolfgang raced in his career in 1/64 scale. They also have the 47 of Danny the Dude Lasowski that he raced in 1994 for Gil Sonner in the Casey's General Store entry. And they also have the one Nance Sammy Swindell sprint car that he raced in 1982, I believe. Also, they have some 124 scale classic stock cars and modifieds out there. The pure white ones where you can design your own paint scheme. So definitely go snag them up. They also have a racing club you can join to be the first ones to be notified of the new racing collectibles when they come out, as far as the 164 scale sprint cars. But yes, so go hit up DirtTrackRaceCars.com, Dirt Track Race Cars and Company, for all your racing diecast needs. Also, I would like to thank Manning Motorsports, Brody Manning Motorsports, for helping sponsor this racing show. And also, I would like to thank New England Hemophilia Association and Walking with Wayland for helping out with this racing show. Wayland Page, it is, for helping out with this racing show also. Definitely some other shout outs I'd like to do is go hit up Mel's Creations for all your gift ideas. She's got some pretty awesome gift ideas out there. Mel's Creations, Mel Hansen. So go hit that up. Also, get a hold of Kaylee Froderman, because she's got some pretty awesome stuff out there. Some awesome pharmacy stuff, I believe. Pharmacy stuff. So definitely go hit that up for Kaylee Froderman. But also, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys would like to sponsor a racing show or be on a racing show, feel free to call us or text us at 712-209-7138, or you can email us at jjnolan151@gmail.com. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a good night. Catch you later on another episode of the Josh Nolan Oliver S. Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on YouTube, and continue living life in the fast lane. But have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.